Hello and welcome everybody. This is my review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip. I've had it for about a month and this is going to be my last day with it. Not because it's a bad phone, but because I'll get into that in a bit. I'm going to start off with the build quality of this thing and how it's been. The build quality, nice and sturdy, it's solid, there's a bit of weight to it, and it's great to just flick it open. I love the fact that you can just stand it up like that. You can do split screen where you're watching YouTube on top, Twitter down below, whatever. I love the fact that you can fold it up and it folds up into a small little compact device, easy to stick in your pocket. I was just recently in Seville in Spain, and this is the sort of thing that you can just pop in your pocket, unobtrusive, not like one of these other phones that I've got, like the Note 10 Plus or whatever. Big slab of a phone that you can clearly see it's a phone in somebody's pocket. And of course, when you need it, flick it open, use it for the cameras, whatever you're going to do with it. So yeah, it's a novel device. I love the fact that it's got the flick open, like the Star Trek sort of thing. You can drop it and it doesn't break. Try not to do that again. I've dropped it a few times, but I do put cases on the phone. Now this is one of my things about the phone. The glass on this thing is really slippery. It is properly slippery, and if you put it even on a flat table, I've noticed it can move around, especially if somebody's ringing. You've got the vibrate on it, just vibrates straight off the table, and that's happened a couple of times. So yeah, for me, a case is a must, and I've done a couple of videos on cases, so go and check those out. This is probably my favourite one, the Spigen one, but the Samsung genuine leather one, it's quite nice and cushioned, so if you do drop the phone, which I did do with that, there's no chance of damaging it unless of course you drop it straight on the hinge. And while we're on the subject of the hinge, I think this is probably, I didn't expect it to feel as sturdy and as solid as it does. I mean, I've been doing this constantly. It doesn't loosen up. It doesn't wobble. I don't think there's any chance of that hinge wearing out. It's completely solid. I've been flicking it. Yeah, I mean, there's no chance of it damaging the screen. It's been a novel thing. It's got a lot of attention. A lot of people have liked to play about with it. I've let them open and close it and stuff like that. It does get a lot of attention. This is where one of my bugbears comes in. Only two colours. This one is black, or you've got the purpley pink one. The purpley pink one, I just didn't like the colour. Striking, but it's just not my thing. And the black one, well, it's nice, but I just feel that it should be a little bit more jazz to something like this. It just sort of, yeah, it's just black, which is a bit of a shame. I'd like to see, I don't know, silver, gold, whatever, or even like some sort of finish in the black. I don't see why they can't do it, if I'm honest. So I mean, that's one of my sort of issues with this phone, and I suspect, looking at the history of the Samsung Galaxy Fold, they're not going to change up the colours at all. If they do, I think I'll probably get another one, depending on the colours they do. But Samsung, please bring out some more colours. I mean, this looks so good in some of these other colours that you've done. It looked really flash. It really catch the eye. Especially my Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I don't know if I've got it here. The amount of attention this thing's got, where even in the shop, people are sort of coming up and saying, "Wow, I love the colour of that." I know it's not to everybody's taste, but that's what I'm talking about. It just looks like a normal phone, but it really catches the eye. This would look so good if you could do that with this. Really, I know the finish on the hinge, you probably can't do it, but there must be some other way, really. And yes, before anybody says in the comments, there is a limited edition version of it, but I'm not paying that sort of money for it. That's just too expensive, and some people say that this is way too expensive. Here, I think, was it £1,400, just under. You've got to look at it in terms of technology, with the folding screen and everything. Really, realistically, anything more than £500-600 is too expensive. But this is something that's a little bit different, and I kind of think it's probably, I mean, some of the specs you would sort of say, but I don't mind. I wouldn't mind spending that sort of money on one. The other thing, obviously, with it, which people have gone on about, the screen. Now, I know the hoo-ha that a certain YouTuber's video created about the screen, but realistically, it was never always going to be a glass screen on it. I do think Samsung were a little bit economical with the truth. They should have been a bit more open about it. Yes, it has got glass in it. Yes, it is incredibly thin. It has to be in order for it to bend. And the so-called screen protector, well, let's be honest with it, it's not really a screen protector, is it? It's part of the screen. Without it, the glass wouldn't last 2 seconds. So it obviously needs that screen protector, all that plastic, for it to work. That said, the plastic, I can be notoriously, I wouldn't say clumsy with my phones, I'd say unfortunate. I can get scratches on my screens. I don't know where they come from. I can just pull it out of my pocket and wham, I'll notice there's a scratch on it. But this screen, there's only one little indentation. Very difficult to see. You can only see it in certain lights. Now, I don't know if that's something that was there when the phone was new, or if that's something that's happened in the time that I've had it. I don't really notice it. I find it very difficult to actually see it, actually, but it's I've done nothing to get that mark on there, really. I can't think how it would got there. Yes, I've let other people play with the phones, obviously under my supervision, but nobody's dug their fingers in or anything like that. But other than that, the screen is pretty much tip-top, apart from the fact it's a bit of a fingerprint magnet, and I've been rubbing it on my shirt and everything. So, looking at it in this light, yes, there's some micro scratching on it, but I mean, you've got to get it in a certain light in order to be able to do that. So I suspect that this will probably, over the long term, it will probably hold up quite well. My only one issue with the whole build quality of it is when it's closed, you've got the gap in there. Now, if it's in your pocket, especially if you put it hinge side down, in actual fact it probably does it the other way, you get a lot of dust, pocket dust and lint that gets collected in the screen area. I'm constantly having to blow it off, wipe it down before I start using it. It's a bit of an annoyance. Sometimes if it's been in my trouser pockets, I've got a bit of dust in my pocket or whatever from anything I'm working on, it all collects inside the phone. When you open it up, it looks a mess, really. I just wish there was some way, maybe they could have put some sort of plastic edge round it to actually close up that gap to stop that from happening. Only nitpicking I am, but it's an important thing really, because you don't want the screen to get all scratched up. The screen itself, this is it's a bit of a love-hate thing with me. Great screen, enjoy it, bright, vibrant, works perfectly well. My couple of issues is it's quite tall. Even with large hands, you tend to start using two hands using it. Great for split screen, of course, but the other thing I wish it was just a little bit wider, because with the black plastic around the edge of the screen, it narrows it up quite a lot. So you're typing on it, it's quite a narrow keyboard, especially if you've got big fat fingers like me. You tend to keep mistyping. You can swipe, but even that I keep making mistakes with. So it's a bit of an annoyance for me. I do type a lot, and if you keep having to keep going back and keep making mistakes, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I just wish it was a bit wider, because the actual plastic around the edge, it's quite a large bezel really. So keeping on the line of screens, you've got that little one on the back, front, whatever you call it. All honesty, it's too small. It really is. I like the idea. I mean, it's if you practice, you can get reasonable selfies with it. The screen's just too small. It really is. If it's just a bit bigger, even if they had a line going above the cameras there, and you can obviously, you get your notifications like that. It'd be nice to be able for you to be able to sort of click on it. You do get a bit of information to a point on some apps, but a bigger screen would be better. Build quality of the actual phone obviously is typical Samsung quality. You know that this is going to last for quite a long time. Glass is glass on the outside, but with a case on it, this will last for ages. You do obviously get concierge service with it. So if you do damage the screen, I can't remember if you get I think it's one free screen, something like that. I know people are going to ask, so I shall cover it now. The crease. Now, to start with, obviously, you're scrolling and everything. You do tend to sort of, it's one of those things that's a bit like white noise. You kind of don't notice it after a while. Occasionally, if you're on something on the page that you're trying to fiddle, and it's always that bit on the screen where you're actually scrolling. Occasionally you might notice it a little bit, but for the most part, I don't see it when I'm using it. If you've got it straight on, you can't see it. It's not that bad a crease. You can feel it. I mean, I'll be the first person to moan about it if it annoyed me, and it just, yeah, I just don't even notice it. So battery life. Let's talk about battery life. Battery life. This is a Snapdragon version of a Samsung phone. So battery life's been really good. I've had 2 days out of it. I've even stretched it into a third day, but that's not using it much. Now, I do use 2 or 3 other phones, so I'm not a power user of this thing. But you should be able to, I mean, I regularly get about 4.5 hours screen on time, 5 hours. It depends what you do with the phone, really. Screen on time is very subjective, because it depends what you're actually doing with the actual phone at the time. If you're playing heavy games that are heavy on the processor, and that, obviously it's going to be a lot shorter. But I've actually done really well with this thing, and I know with my Exynos version of the Note 10 Plus, I don't think it's quite as good. So yeah, I mean, it's an all-day battery life. I mean, for a normal user, if this is your only phone, you should get at least a full day out of this thing. You've obviously got your normal battery saver modes or stuff like that. But I'm really impressed. It's one of the good things about this phone. The other thing I like, the physical fingerprint sensor. It is really quick. Actually, when I first started using it, it's much quicker than I thought it would be. It's just as you touch it, it unlocks. I mean, fantastic. Finally, a fast fingerprint sensor on the Samsung. As it's a physical fingerprint sensor / power button on this one, it works. Yeah, it works 100% of the time. As for features, obviously it's a Samsung phone, so it's got all the features, all bar the kitchen sink really. If you like the Samsung features, cameras, the selfie camera, I didn't really use it. I used it a couple of times. It seems alright. I'm not much of a selfie person. The actual cameras on the back, front, whatever you call it, they both, you've got your normal sensor and you've got the ultra wide. Standout one for me is the ultra wide one. I went round a couple of places, Seville, there's Hendon, RAF Hendon, and that ultra wide lens really came into its own actually, especially in RAF Hendon, because things like there's a Vulcan bomber stuck in the corner, difficult to get it all in full frame, but this really does it easily. You can get the whole thing. Obviously it's wide angle, so a bit of distortion, but if you can edit the photo and that, you can make it a really good photo. But yeah, that's the standout thing for me, is a wide angle. I think it's super wide angle on this one, so it works flawlessly. Both the cameras are actually. Video works pretty well as well. I didn't do too much video work with it actually, but along with features, you've got your wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. It's got fast charging, obviously. It's not as fast as the newer Samsung phones, but it does the job. Software wise, there's nothing to complain about whatsoever. It works a treat. The One UI 2, it just flies along. No stutters, no hiccups, nothing. I mean, watching videos and content always works really well. Shame it didn't have a speaker on the top to get dual speakers. I think that's one of the things with a screen as wide as this. I think dual speakers, stereo speakers, I think you'd probably notice it more, and it'd work really well. And I'm sure if they made it a little bit wider, had that bit more space in it, I'm sure they could have fitted an extra speaker in there just at the top, a small one, just a sound filler if you like, and that would make watching videos and listening to music, playing games, that sort of thing, make it that little bit better. Games, obviously, it flies along. I didn't have any problems with any of the games. I mean, my one game I like is Real Racing 3. That works an absolute treat. So phone calls work perfectly. Bluetooth with headphones, everything like that, not a problem. Don't get any drops. Internet, all works. Yeah, there's really not much not to like about it. The only things why I don't like it is just my personal preferences. Would I say not to buy it because of that? No, not at all. It's just my personal preferences. I prefer the Note 10 Plus. Probably because it's got the S Pen as well, so it's just a little bit more usable for me. Like I say, this is a really talked about phone. People like seeing it. I've been asked about it loads of times on jobs that I've gone to. People have asked me about it. They've seen it. Oh, that's, yeah, they all know what it is. And that, I must admit, I'm going to miss that. The old Star Trek flick, the communicator flick. So that's the one thing I will miss. Like I say, I think if they did another colour, I'll probably get another one. But I suspect they probably won't. So I'm probably going to hold out for the Fold 2. Yeah, great fun. It really is. Like I say, my only problems is my personal preferences. So it certainly wouldn't stop me getting another one. It certainly wouldn't stop me from recommending it. Right, so there it is really. Great little phone. Like I say, I've enjoyed using it. And I hope that the next version of the Galaxy Fold is going to be really good, because on the basis of this is a very good second attempt. Very polished, well built. There's just a couple of little wish list bits that I'd like that were different about it. So, but ultimately, I'm going to send this back. So this will be going back tonight, and the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus will be back in use. So that's it for this video. It's at least goodbye for now from this, and I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any other comments or questions, ask me down below. Please like, share and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because I've got more videos coming up and I'd love for you to come and join me on those. Leave a comment down below. See what you think. Tell me what you think. Give me your thoughts. Have you actually, if you've got one, let me know. Tell me what you think of it. Am I wrong? I probably am, but or do you agree with what my findings on it? If you, just let me know down below. I'll really be interested in your comments. And yeah, that's it for now. And I'll hopefully see you again soon. Bye for now.